7-star Mewtwo raid's been around for about a week now, and it seems like everybody's basically come to the same conclusion. However, I understand that there's a number of people out there who aren't quite happy with the idea of just using Mew and nothing else for this, and feel like Game Freak has railroaded them into using that as the only option. And so I'm going to take this time to explain how you can beat a 7-star Mewtwo raid without using Mew. Or at very least how to do it without using 4 of them. Now obviously Mew is a wonderful option in this raid, since you can make its moveset into basically whatever you want, and with the stat boost it gets just from being present in the raid, it is by and far the best option. So I don't really recommend you go completely without any Mew on your team, but it is possible, and rather reliably so. Altogether the strategy is pretty simple. If you're using nothing but Mew, you can usually get away with 3 attackers and 1 support. However, without any Mews on the field, you probably want to stick to 2 attackers and 2 supports. The extra help does matter. First and foremost, by far the best Pokemon to use in this raid for offense, Scizor. Of all the Pokemon I've gone through and tested, Scizor is definitely the best fit for taking on Mewtwo. With Steel resisting Psychic and Ice and Bug resisting Fighting, Scizor doesn't actually have any weaknesses against Mewtwo. However, that isn't to say that Mewtwo's not still going to do a lot of damage to it as it goes. However, as with all the Mew builds, the strategy stays the same, and that is that Scizor is going to hit Mewtwo 3 times with Struggle Bug right up front, lowering Mewtwo's special attack along with the rest of your team, allowing him to survive long enough to actually fulfill his role. From there you can set Tailwind in order to speed up your team, 3 Swords Dances to maximize your attack power, and Terabug and X-Scissor away, with the Shell Bell healing up Scizor every time it hits. As long as the debuffs keep coming from your teammates the whole fight, Scizor should be able to keep up the damage. And even once terastallized, Ice Beam isn't really a worry. And as a bonus to this set, you give it the Swarm ability, making it so that Scizor's bug attacks get a boost when he's at low health, making sure that if Mewtwo does land a crit and do full damage to you, all that means is your next X-Scissor is getting a power boost. Next up on the list to take on Mewtwo with is the support of choice, Grimmsnarl. Holding Light Clay and with the Prankster ability to make sure Light Screen can get up faster than Mewtwo can move, Grimmsnarl just keeps an eye on the screen to make sure Light Screen doesn't stay down for too long, and spams Spirit Break to keep Mewtwo's attack power down. And then when the shield is close to breaking, drop a Misty Train so Mewtwo can't go to sleep and therefore can't rest and heal itself. Once the shield is down, you can drop a taunt to stop Mewtwo from using Calm Mind anymore, and continue the Spirit Break assault. As I said before, in this raid, it's definitely beneficial to have 2 supports, and having 2 Grimmsnarls running at the same time is a perfectly viable option. As a secondary support option for taking on Mewtwo, may I suggest Armarouge. With Fire resisting Ice and Psychic resisting Psychic and Fighting, Armarouge resists every attack in Mewtwo's arsenal, boosts its defensive stats and gives leftovers for some healing, and Armarouge will manage to last longer than most. With Light Screen, just in case nobody else has it. Clear Smog, just in case Mewtwo's stats start getting out of hand and you want to set it back down to 0. Which comes in really handy, helping Hand to boost your offensive Pokemon's damage a little bit, and Mystic Fire for that all-important damage reduction on Mewtwo. Armarouge is a solid pick for support in this scenario, but it should not be your only support, as you definitely need something with either Electric Terrain or Misty Terrain. Now, between those 3 builds, you should have no problem taking on Mewtwo with a team of 4, but as I said, Mew is kind of the superior Mon here. Between the stat boost and its move pool options, Mew is just hard to replace in this scenario. And just in case this is the only video on this you're going to watch, here are my Mew builds. On the support side of things, you give Mew Light Clay to make sure Light Screen stays up for longer, Struggle Bug for spamming to keep that damage down, Misty Terrain for when the shield's about to break and you want to make sure Mewtwo can't heal, and Life Dew in order to help keep your team alive. Because unfortunately without this, you're going to be relying on heal cheers a lot. And those are a limited commodity. In the case of the offensive Mew, though, you still run Struggle Bug, because it's super important to keep Mewtwo's attack power down, or else he will keep fainting your Pokemon. Give him Swords Dance so he can keep his attack power as high as possible, and Terabug Leech Life is your attack of choice, as it'll do a fair amount of damage and keep Mew healthy. On top of that, we do have Life Dew on this set just in case. However, that's more in case of emergencies than anything you're going to be actively using. On top of that, you're giving Mew a metronome, so every time it uses Leech Life, the power of the attack keeps going up. All in all, the big takeaway here, keep Light Screen up, keep Mewtwo's attack power as low as possible, drop Misty Terrain before the shield goes down so he doesn't heal, and this raid can be pretty reliably dealt with. If you like this video and my builds, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, help out the channel as best you can. Thank you very much. Peace.